doing, Mom?" Becca spins on her heel, Sharpie in one hand, hovering above the half-written phone number on her forearm. Busted. "I'm writing our lawyer's number on my arm," she tells her daughter while scribbling the last 3 numbers. "No point in lying. Sophia's too intuitive and too smart for that. Might as well just tell her the truth." "I'm doing bus patrol today," Becca continues. "It's just in case." "Yeah, you get picked up by ICE," Sophia finishes for her. "Well, let's at least make it legible." She grabs the Sharpie from her mom and retraces all the numbers before adding, "I love you, Mom," with a frilly heart underneath. At first, Becca had tried to not talk to her kids about the ICE surge, but it was unavoidable. She and her husband had a practice of saving their tough conversations for after the kids had gone to bed, and they'd been careful to keep their voices low and only talk in their bedroom when the door was shut. But not long into the surge, in early December 2025, Sophia came home from school with questions. Other parents were talking about it with their kids, and the kids were talking at lunch. But it was more than that. Sophia's intuitive. Becca knew she had been behaving differently at home since the surge started, and Sophia picked up on that. That night, at the dinner table, everyone stopped chewing when Sophia asked out of the blue if ICE was going to take them. Even though their school district is predominantly white and ICE hadn't been to Sophia's school, as a 10-year-old, Sophia didn't understand that ICE was just taking black and brown people at that point. To her, ICE was taking her friends' parents, and she was afraid they'd come for them. She pointed out that Becca was getting up earlier in the morning and spending more time on her phone than usual. "I love that, honey," Becca said, tracing her fingers over the frilly heart. "Now please, tell me, how do you really feel about me doing all this?" "It's fine, Mom. I know you gotta do it." "Are you frustrated that I'm not more present with you these days?" "No, really, Mom, it's fine. What you're doing is so important." Becca swallowed the knot in her throat, capped the Sharpie, and put it back into the junk drawer. She couldn't believe how wise her kid had become in such a short time. How could it be that she's only 10? As she pulled her shirt sleeve down, Becca realized that the way she and her husband raised their kids, the so-called coddling her own parents had accused her of doing, had helped them develop critical thinking and emotional intelligence skills well beyond what they had at that age. An hour later, knowing Sophia was seatbelted in and singing with her dad in the car line for school drop-off, Becca checked her newly installed dash cam next and pulled up the Signal rapid response chat while she parked a block away from the bus stop where she was assigned to patrol. 3 immigrant kids stood at the bus stop with a small cluster of white neighbors who had walked them there. Becca knows which cars belong to which neighbors and which ones are on other members of the rapid response group. An SUV with heavily tinted windows and no front license plates pulls around the corner, and she types the license plate into her phone. Unknown. It was the same make and model as the one that pulled an immigrant dad out of the vehicle in front of her in car line 2 weeks earlier. Her teenage son had been having panic attacks in the passenger seat of her car ever since. So he'd started sitting in the back seat with his headphones on, a hoodie pulled over his head, and his face buried in a tablet. Normally, they didn't allow screen time in the car, but everything about their family rules was different now. Do I wait for the school bus or do I follow the SUV? Becca thought to herself as she watched the SUV make another turn. She ultimately decided to stay with the school bus unless the SUV made another appearance. It didn't. 2 minutes later, the school bus pulled up and stopped. The kids with their 2 big backpacks climbed onto the bus while their white neighbors waved vigorously and promised to be there for pickup after school. Becca followed the school bus through several more stops and to the school. Once all the kids were off the bus and had pulled away, she put the car in park, pulled on the e-brake, and pushed play on her Spotify playlist that had exactly one song. She turned up the 80s heavy metal to full blast, and she let herself scream at the top of her lungs for exactly 1 minute. Then she turned the music down and tuned to a different playlist. She looked again at the frilly heart underneath her daughter's handwriting on her forearm. She pulled down the sun visor, flipped open the vanity mirror, and looked into her own eyes and said, "Honey, your mom fucking loves you so fiercely.